We're going to go around the Manchester Airport Orbital Cycleway. This is our starting point 1 mile east of the terminal. This is our mode of transport, an electric bike, and we're going to head west along the A555 Manchester Airport Link Road. We'll be stopping along the route at places where you can watch and photograph or video the planes. Here, by the northern perimeter, on Ringway Road and Shadow Moss Road, we are right underneath the final approach path. I came here as a child and wished I lived in one of those houses. They were demolished in recent years for safety reasons, and this is the scene today. The name Shadow Moss Road makes me think of the Shadow Moss air crash in 1957, when a BEA Viscount crashed into a row of houses. It's Manchester's forgotten air disaster. Today, there are more than 500 aircraft movements per day at Manchester Airport. Planes have reached a high level of sophistication and safety. The planes land from the northeast and take off towards the southwest. When the wind is from the east, they take off towards the northeast. The Airport Hotel on Ringway Road is a pub with a garden at the back which has great views of the planes taking off. But be careful, parking here is restricted. Here's my photo of an Aer Lingus Airbus A320 taken in 2007. Here, next to Terminal 3, you can see the planes through the fence. It's too narrow for a DSLR lens, but the iPhone lens is so tiny you can peek through the wire netting. Terminal 3 has no public viewing facilities, and please note there's a charge to drop off in front of the terminal. Better to use the free drop-off point from where passengers can take free buses to the terminals. This is the only part of the original 1962 terminal building still visible. The air traffic controllers moved to a new control tower in 2013. I came here as a child and went on the viewing terraces where I took this photograph. The terrace is closed due to tighter security. I worked at Manchester Airport on the information desk and got to know the airport quite well. It was a great job and I have great memories of it. But over the years the airport grew and grew and the original 62 terminal was obscured. Today passengers are welcomed by the sight of a multi-storey car park. But soon all is going to change. The Radisson Blu Hotel is an impressive building fit for an airport with great views from the business class lounge at the top. And just nearby, beyond the hedge, a taste of the exotic, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner of Ethiopian Airlines. This is the station, bringing together trains, trams and buses. The Skylink leads to Terminals 1 and 3. It has moving walkways that are not always working. This part of the Skylink goes to Terminal 2, which is currently being extended as part of the airport's £1 billion expansion plan. The drop-off point is now further away from the terminal building, and there's a £3 charge, so it's best to use the free drop-off point. This is the interior of Terminal 2. Soon it will be much bigger and it will become the main terminal of the airport. It's set for completion in 2020. When I worked at Manchester Airport, this area was just empty fields. And yet, just a few feet away from all this construction, there's an old timber-framed house that was here centuries before the airport appeared. We continue along the lane to the southwest of the airport and there's an amusing road sign. It's in the background article which you'll find on my Patreon page. We've now arrived at the World Freight Terminal on the west side of the airport. We can see the new control tower which opened in 2013. Close to here is the Romper pub in Ringway Village. For many years the airport was called Ringway, a name which goes back to the Middle Ages and before. Strange that the name Ringway is so similar to the word runway. This is Ringway Chapel. Further along Wilmslow Old Road is Runway Visitor Park. A trident and a Nimrod are on display, and Concorde is in its own building. You need to apply in advance to visit Concorde, you can't just visit on the day. Here's my photo of Concorde on its final journey on the 22nd of October 2003, taken from the viewing park. The viewing park is fairly close to the runways and taxiways and the views are quite good. Entry is free to people on foot and coming by bike, but car drivers now have to pay a hefty parking charge. The upmarket Premier private terminal is currently under construction in front of the viewing area at the top. We'll move on from Runway Visitor Park now and on to the A538 towards Wilmslow, passing a brand new petrol station. Using the shared pedestrian and cycle path, we head towards the tunnel under the southwest end of the airport. While I was working at the airport, I had a Triumph Spitfire, my first car, and it ran out of petrol at this point. We are between the old tunnel and the new tunnel, which passes under the second runway. If we're lucky, we might see a plane taking off from here, but not at the moment. We continue through the new tunnel to the roundabout by the River Bollin, and this spot always reminds me of the second runway protesters who camped out in the trees near here. The old Altrincham Road was closed when the second runway was built around the millennium, but we can continue through the National Trust style property. The airport is just beyond the trees. Soon we are riding along the path next to the perimeter fence, and here we can stop to watch the planes. We can see the Ethiopian Boeing 787 Dreamliner about to take off for Addis Ababa. Here are a few of my archive photos taken from this viewpoint. The BMI A330, BMI sadly finished operations in 2019, an American Airlines Boeing 767 in the old livery, the Virgin Atlantic 747, and today it's still operating, same livery but with a different font. The big crowd puller at Manchester Airport is the Emirates Airbus A380. It has 2 arrivals and departures every day. It's important to note that this viewing area is not approved by the National Trust. In fact, there was an interesting sign they put up, which has long since disappeared. My photo of it is on my Patreon blog for Patreon supporters. We continue along the old Altrincham Road. It's semi-rural around here, with farms and houses now on both sides. Let's go down this narrow footpath, and what do we find? A field with horses, an idyllic sunset scene, just a stone's throw from the busy airport terminal. So we better continue to our starting point. There's still plenty of power in the battery, and after passing the emergency gate, it's the Manchester Airport mock-up aircraft used for fire training. We're now on the home stretch heading towards Stile Road, where we turn left, and soon we're back at our starting point. We've covered a distance of around 7.5 miles. This video was captured mostly on the iPhone, and I also used a Panasonic TZ70. The video was entirely edited on an iPhone 8 Plus. If you found this video interesting, then please like, post a comment, hit the bell button for notifications, and most importantly, please subscribe to the channel. In fact, I have 2 channels, this one Aidan O'Rourke for my photo and video projects, and my other channel Aidan Explorer, exploring the world through languages. Please also visit my Patreon page and consider becoming a sponsor to support my video making. We'll finish with a sunset I captured here along the A555 a few weeks ago.